Levels of organization. Organization. A living organism can be compared to a machine. Just as a machine has different parts to perform different jobs, living organisms also have different body parts which work in an organized and coordinated fashion. Thus, organization represents the manner in which smaller units of any structure are aggregated into bigger units. Organization in non-living things. The basic unit of organization in non-living things is atom. Each atom is formed of still smaller structural units called protons, electrons, and neutrons. The atoms organize to form molecules and compounds which aggregate to form crystals, mixtures, and colloids. This is called physical hierarchy and involves following levels, as seen in the figure. The figure shows physical hierarchy in non-living things. The elementary particles like electrons, protons, and neutrons form atoms, which form molecules, and molecules form compounds, which could be colloidal, crystals, or mixture, and compounds form organelles. Levels of organization. The entire living world exhibits organization at different levels. In fact, organization begins at cellular level and then the entire living world is organized step by step. Each such step in the organization represents one level of organization, and each level of organization is more complex than the lower one. Broadly, three major levels of organization can be identified as organism level of organization, B, levels of organization lower to the organism, C, levels of organization higher to the organism, A. Organism level of organization. An individual organism, either unicellular or multicellular, a plant or an animal, is a separate biological unit as the physiological activities are concerned. It represents organism level of organization. Lower levels of organization. Each complex multicellular organism is made up of organ systems. Each organ system comprises of several organs. Each organ is formed of several tissues, and each tissue is formed of many cells. The cells are aggregates of different molecules. All these represent lower levels of organization. These are molecular level, cellular level, tissue level, organ level, and organ system level. Molecular level of organization. All the living organisms have cellular nature and may be unicellular or multicellular. A cell is a mass of protoplasm, that is living matter, bounded by a cell membrane, which is a cell wall in plant cells. Protoplasm is formed of a number of complex organic macrobiomolecules like proteins, carbohydrates, fats, etc. These polymers are formed of simple organic compounds like amino acids, monosugars, fatty acids, etc., interlinked by specific bonds. For example, simple organic compounds like amino acids are interlinked by peptide bonds and form proteins, which are complex organic compounds. Monosugars, example glucose, are interlinked by glycosidic bonds between them and form complex sugars, example starch. Each simple organic compound is formed of inorganic compounds. For example, 6CO2, carbon dioxide, plus 6H2O, that is water, in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, gives C6H12O6, that is glucose, plus 6O2, that is oxygen. Each inorganic compound is formed of specific elements. For example, water is formed of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. So molecular level of organization has following categories: atoms, molecules, inorganic compounds, simple organic compounds, complex organic compounds, protoplasm, cell. One-celled protozoans, example amoeba, paramecium, etc., have molecular or protoplasmic organization. In such organisms, different functions are performed by different cell organelles. For example, mitochondria for cell respiration, ribosomes for protein synthesis, etc. So, division of labor is at the level of cell organelles. Cellular level of organization. A cell is the smallest living unit that can exist independently and perform all the life activities. In unicellular organisms like amoeba, euglena, paramecium, and bacteria, all life activities are carried out within a single cell. As a matter of fact, life originated with the formation of the cell. In simple multicellular organisms like algae and sponges, cells are grouped together, but they function independently. They represent cellular level of organization. This level lacks division of labor. Tissue level of organization. In multicellular organisms, different cells become specialized to carry out specific functions. For example, nerve cells are specialized to conduct messages. Muscle cells for contraction and gland cells for secretion. The cells that perform one function look alike and work together. Together they form tissue and represent tissue level of organization. This marks the beginning of division of labor. Organ level of organization. Different tissues that work together to perform one specialized function form an organ. Brain, kidney, stomach, intestine, lungs, and heart in animals, and root, stem, leaf, and flower in plants represent organ level of organization. Organ system level of organization. When many organs work together to perform one major life function, they form an organ system. For example, mouth, food pipe, stomach, intestine, and rectum form the digestive system. Similarly, heart and blood vessels form the circulatory system. These organ systems represent organ system level of organization. Various organ system levels. The skeletal system comprises of organs like bones and cartilages. It forms the framework of bones, supports and protects internal body organs, provides attachment for muscles, and helps in locomotion. The muscular system consists of muscles, which could be voluntary and involuntary. It facilitates in the contraction and relaxation of muscles, helps in the movement of body parts, and substances like food, blood, air, etc. in the body. Digestive system. Mouth, buccal cavity, esophagus, that is the food pipe, stomach, intestine, rectum, anus, and digestive glands like liver and pancreas are a part of the digestive system. It digests and absorbs food so that nutrients can pass into the blood for distribution to different body cells. Another organ system is the circulatory system. It consists of heart, blood vessels like arteries, veins, capillaries, and blood. It transports substances like food and oxygen to various cells of the body, removes excretory products like carbon dioxide and nitrogen compounds, form body cells, defends body against infectious diseases. Another organ system is respiratory system, which consists of nose, trachea, that is the windpipe, and lungs. It transfers oxygen to the blood, removes carbon dioxide from the blood. The excretory system consists of kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder, urethra. It removes excess of water and urea from the body in the form of urine. The nervous system has brain, spinal cord, and nerves in it. It receives stimuli collected by different sense organs, transmits messages to different parts of the body, coordinates functions of different organ systems. Reproductive system consists of testes, sperm ducts, urethra, penis in males, ovaries, oviducts, uterus, vagina in females. It produces male gametes, sperm, female gametes, ova, and offspring. Like our body, plants also have organ systems. You can identify two organ systems in plants: the shoot system and the root system. The shoot system is formed of stem, branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits. The root system has a main root, its branches, and the root hairs. Organism. In an organism, all the systems work together in a coordinated manner. Thus, each multicellular organism has a well-organized structure consisting of organ systems, organs, tissues, and cells. Thus, the cell is the smallest complete living unit of an organism. No organism can survive in isolation. It interacts with both living and non-living components of its environment. Thus, interaction forms different levels of organization above organism in the order of increasing complexity. It is also called ecological hierarchy and includes a graded series of ecological categories as shown below. Organism, population, biotic community, ecosystem, biosphere. Higher levels of organization. Population level. Organisms of one species living together in the same area or locality constitute a population. In hierarchy, it is the level next to the organisms. Members of a population compete among themselves for similar basic requirements. They are so similar that they can interbreed among themselves. Community level. Populations of different species living together in a particular habitat form a biotic community or simply a community. For example, various populations of trees, bushes, grasses, animals, and microorganisms in a given area form a biotic community. Ecosystem level. The members of a biotic community and the abiotic components of their environment together form an ecosystem. In an ecosystem, the living organisms affect each other. They affect their environment and are affected by their environment. The interdependence of different organisms in an ecosystem can be seen in the form of food chain and food web, through which transfer of energy takes place from organisms of one level to another level. Grassland, garden, or paddy field are examples of terrestrial ecosystems. Ponds and lakes are aquatic ecosystems. An aquarium is an artificial or man-made aquatic ecosystem. Biosphere level. A part of universe that supports life is known as biosphere. It comprises of all the ecosystems of the earth. It includes life on land, in water, and in air. Biosphere is divided into hydrosphere, lithosphere, and atmosphere. Ecosystems in biosphere. Hydrosphere. Hydrosphere includes all water bodies, ponds, lakes, streams, rivers, seas, and oceans. The organisms living in water are called aquatic organisms. Lithosphere. Lithosphere represents the solid surface of Earth. It includes both the upper surface, which supports plants, and the deeper layers where animals live in burrows. It comprises of soil and rocks. Atmosphere. Atmosphere is the gaseous covering that envelopes both hydrosphere and lithosphere. Organisms and their spores exist in the atmosphere up to 7 to 8 kilometers above sea level. Birds and insects are aerial animals.